Alright everybody, we're back. After a very exciting Game 1 with Empire running an unorthodox strategy to take down No Tidehunter for that initial excursion. Moving right on to Game 2 of this best of 3. Let's get started with the draft. See if NTH wants to adjust their banning at all. Maybe deal with that, that Keeper of the Light. Not have to worry about him. Not when you give up the Nyx, they'll say, we're happy if you want to give it to us, but we value him high enough that we're not going to let you take him as a second pick. Absolutely not. See if Empire continues to ban out Bulldog's Druid. There's the Chen and the Druid, Ake's Chen and Bulldog's Druid, so basically some very targeted bans in the first game. And, well, also though, Chen's such a powerful mid-gamer that maybe... I'm curious maybe if they had that strategy in their heads from the start of the game, they wanted to go for a very kind of early to mid-game thing. But if you kind of try to pick yourself into a corner and very much make your initial bans and your initial picks work for a certain strategy, and you don't leave yourself some wiggle room in your draft, they are going to ban Bulldog's Druid. If you don't leave yourself any wiggle room in the draft, you really open yourself up to getting drafted into a corner and ending up with no way out and just getting completely outdrafted. You have to leave some wiggle room. Batrider is the next ban from No Tidehunter. See who Empire wants to give away as the first pick. If I were them, I'd expect they're thinking of banning Darks here, but then again, maybe they want to get Darks here for Scandal, perhaps? Now thinking about it, Ake's Chen again. So yeah, I just think these are very targeted bans. And they're interested in, they're going to give up the Wisp in exchange for that, though. Actually, when I was thinking about picks, I'm like, I wonder who they should ban. Darks here, maybe? Because I just always assume that Wisp is banned. But no, he makes it through, and the last few times I've seen Wisp make it through, it has not been pretty for the team that lets him get picked. You don't give up a Wisp. He's too darn good. And now they've left open. I mean, there's plenty of Wisp options available for No Tidehunter here. If they want to go the ultra aggressive Chaos Knight pickup to start, I mean, they could basically pick up Chaos Knight and insert like another aggressive hero here, like a Queen of Pain. Maybe, like Chaos Knight and Queen of Pain, and that's an incredibly powerful mid-game lineup, just from those three heroes. You don't actually need anything else.
Reserve time.
They're going to grab Gyrocopter and Nature's Prophet. Interesting. So they're going to take the Nature's Prophet very early. Gyrocopter may be going to be the Wisp partner, but usually isn't, so I'm going to kind of assume that's a mid-Gyro, but we'll have to see who ends up picking it up. Actually, I believe NTH is one of the few teams that still runs a support Gyro, with Ake playing it, so we'll have to see if that happens. We can pretty much assume Bulldog is going to be on the Prophet. That's, I think, the only thing we know from this. Oh, and that, EGM will most likely be the Wisp, I believe. Queen of Pain is going to be picked up by Empire. They're saying, alright, if you've got a Wisp, we're not going to give you any more mobile, powerful heroes to go along with him, just so that you don't have, you know, a three-man mobile squad chasing us instead of just the Wisp and his tether buddy. So banouts for Empire, I would expect to see the common Wisp partners taken out. I expect to see Chaos Knight taken out, and I would expect to see Tiny taken out. Aside from that, they could leave Sven, who is not really a hugely popular pick a lot of the time. Lifestealer is going to be banned by No Tidehunter, by the way. I would ban... I mean, if I was No Tidehunter, I would be banning Magnus. At the same time, you kind of want to... You want Magnus, but I'm not sure you can really work with him in this game. Because I think you have too many holes in your draft that you still need to fill to afford... No, I mean, you still have a mid slot open if you're going to run the support Gyro. And you have your carry slot. Phantom Lancer banned out. Puck banned out by Empire. Presuming that Gyro is going to be either support or carry. There goes the Chaos Knight, no big surprise. Wisp Chaos Knight, absurdly powerful and very, very good mid-game. And with NTH already having a lot of good mid-game heroes who snowball quite effectively, aka Gyrocopter and Nature's Prophet, the last thing you want to do is have Nature's Prophet able to just split push away while everyone has to play really, really safe because they're afraid of Wisp Chaos Knight, which is just deadly, deadly combo. NTH looks like they're just banning out carries at this point because they see, I mean, they don't really care what the last support is because anyone works well with Coddle. They don't need to ban out a specific combo, but they want to be sure that there aren't any ridiculous carries on the board. I would ban Faceless Void. No, they're going to ban Shadow Demon. I would have banned Faceless Void because they have a very mobile team, and the last thing they want to do is get locked down and not have that mobility available to them. Magnus gets banned out by No Tidehunter, so they leave Tiny open, which would be my pick right there. If I was gonna, then again, it's not like Empire's gonna pick Tiny, so you can save him for last. So maybe pick up your mid right now. The puck is out. You could get S4 a Keeper of the, or not, wow, Keeper of the Light? No, you can get S4 a Night Stalker. They're gonna go with Ricky, so it's gonna be Wisp Ricky as their combo. I mean, Ricky, if he can keep on you, can put out a whole lot of damage when he's chasing people, and being able to drop him right into a fight and drop off a smoke cloud that nobody saw coming is pretty darn awesome. It also means that you always have to be concerned about going after the solo Wisp unless you have a sentry down or a gem, because there could just be a Ricky waiting to jump on you, because the Wisp will be with him always, just like the Force.
10 seconds remaining.
Wisp is basically the Force. The Force will be with your carry always.
5 seconds remaining.
So Empire thinking about what they want to do here. I still think Faceless Void is an excellent pickup for their carry, but they don't need to worry about picking him now. They can think about who they want to pick to lane with the Keeper and whatever carry they end up grabbing. Please forgive my minor case of the sniffles. And still existent raspy throat. I hope that the information and analysis I provide is worth listening to my less than stellar voice right now. By taking their time on this pick, I'm trying to think. You could get a Leshrac or Alina just for the AoE, and Alina in particular for the burst power to burst Ricky before he goes back into stealth, so you can bring him down very, very quickly, because he's a very squishy guy when you think about magical damage, especially because traditionally he needs to go for some kind of chasing / agility item first. He really loves Diffusal Blade a lot of the time, so we'll kind of see if he wants to go that route, but it means that he's going to remain squishy for quite a bit and be relying on kind of evasion and invisibility. Gonna pick up on dying, so that says to me we want to go against your Ricky, because Undying and Keeper of the Light, that's a nasty combo to try and just be in lane against. Between Decay spam and Illuminate spam, you're not going to be getting a whole lot. So we're looking probably at a safe lane Darkseer, a mid Queen of Pain, an offensive tri-lane. And now that we know, there's the Night Stalker pickup. Specifically, I think they wanted that because silences are so good against Darkseer and Queen of Pain. I know I mentioned the Darkseer or the Night Stalker during the 4th pick phase as something S4 was probably going to draft because he really loves it and he's really good with it. But particularly the silence. That's why they ban out the puck a lot against Queen of Pain and against very kind of spam-heavy lineups and against people who rely on abilities to be evasive, like Darkseer, like Queen of Pain. Anything with a silence is their mortal enemy. And Puck is not only an amazing mid, but has a fantastic silence, has a lot of AoE damage potential, and has a fantastic, fantastic ultimate, aka Dream Coil, which works very well with Call Down as well. I would still, if they're trying to go aggressive, I wouldn't be thinking about Faceless Void, because he's not going to get a lot of farm. Alright, they're just going to go all in again. They're going to do Leshrac. So probably Coddle, Undying, Leshrac, aggressive try, yup, with the farming Leshrac. Bloa going to be on that roll. And then Oppa going to be playing the Queen of Pain. Most likely going mid with that, although we could again see him doing kind of a safe lane farming sort of thing. And Scandal on the Darkseer, whereas for NTH we're going to have S4 on the Night Stalker, Loda on the Ricky, Bulldog on the Prophet, EGM on the Wisp, and Ake on the rarely seen, the nearly extinct support Gyrocopter. I think your Gyrocopter is going to get nerfed. We're not going to see him for a while. This is on directed camera because I forgot to change it. We're going to see a Gyrocopter nerf probably in 7-8. We're going to see him kind of fall off the face a bit as a carry and as a support. And then I think he'll slowly crawl back in as a support because I feel like with probably the most powerful thing that's going to be nerfed about him is his carry aspects. Could just be me though. Ice Frog could decide to nerf his early game instead. But I would kind of expect a flat cannon nerf, because what I think is... Right. I find the hero really interesting. Did they... Oh, it was a Tango. The new Tango thing, I was like, how did they afford a gem at start? That doesn't make any sense. Alright, we've already gone through lineups. Looks like Empire is going to be moving themselves up through their own Ancients, heading towards the enemy jungle, trying to get a quick aggressive positioning advantage. NTH sending 4 top. So, could be a problem if Empire gets themselves caught, but it doesn't look like they want to cross the river. They just want to be very careful about who gets this rune. As long as they have the 3 top, they know they can contest it, they want to. And yeah, we are going to have the safe lane farming Darkseer and the mid Queen of Pain. Looks like maybe NTH wants to try to do something here. The Wisp is tethered up to the Night Stalker. Give him a little bit extra at the start here, since he's not particularly scary until the night. The flavor text on Crippling Fear. Basically, there used to be 2 different abilities for it. Like the ability would actually switch itself, and it was triggered to change when time rolled between night and day in Dota 1. And what it would say, if it was daytime, was nobody fears the Night Stalker during the day. That was also back when Crippling Fear literally did nothing during the day. It was pretty brutal. He was kind of useless during day. So they've slowly buffed him to make him viable in daytime and not overpowered. Like, he didn't used to get any slow at all, I believe, on Void. Night Stalker here, they got slowly buffed until he was just viable. Because previously he was too niche with requiring the Knights to be worth it, basically. Sentries being dropped to try to prevent any sort of pulling going on here, and that's something you really, if you're running an aggressive tri-lane, you have to be able to control the pull. It's super important. And there, yup, enemies, so Empire's going to win the Ward War, so there will be no pulls coming out of NTH, and that's pretty good for them. Impious. Going to just try and prevent Loda from getting any sort of farm on, and basically, the lack of pulls is going to heavily deny the supports any experience. Ake putting out a lot of damage with the Rocket Barrage, but not really wanting to fight the Undying, with that decay spam, of course, being particularly nasty. I mean, the longer you let an Undying fight you, the worse off you are. Loda now losing about half his life, taking a whole lot of damage, going to be tethered up by the Wisp, probably going to live. Yup, he is indeed going to make it out. What build is is Bloa going? He is going for the nuke build. Stun and lightning. Not interested in pushing, not interested in prolonged team fights. He wants to nuke Loda down before anything can be done about it. And this is a pretty darn good aggressive tri-lane. You have 2 of the best aggro tri-laners in the game already. I mean, you have the single best Triverse tri-hero in Undying. And then you have Keeper of the Light, who, despite his nerfs, still puts out a very large AoE of very significant damage, and of course helps fill up the tri-lane's mana. And Leshrac is just amazing in any sort of tri-lane. The amount of AoE damage he can put out, and how quickly his damage kind of ramps up, can be pretty darn significant. And of course, the low cooldown on Lightning Storm is particularly huge. Shifting over to the mid lane real quick. Looks like Oppa at 8-4 against this 8-3 Night Stalker. So S4 doing what he can. But Oppa, I think, is slowly going to continue to zone him out a little bit more. Thinking all S4 really needs, he needs boots and an urn. Well, and preferably a bottle as well by first night, so he can just have himself some regen and a little bit of extra mobility, and then he just needs to go gank and go crazy. That's all that needs to happen for Night Stalker. If he can, any farm he doesn't find in lane, as long as he makes it up during that first night, he's still going to be a frighteningly effective hero if played properly. Oppa putting a lot of damage out right now. A lot of spam coming out from both the Sonar Scream and the Sonar Scream. What am I saying? Scream of Pain. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for any of you who know what I just did. I'm a terrible person. Oppa going to be controlling the first rune. Get this haste up top. Maybe lead into a kill on S4. Does he have any regen handy? No, he doesn't. This could be very, very dangerous for him. Oppa knows where he is. Going to blink in. Oh, quick silence is going to slow him down at least a little, but there's the Scream of Pain. He is going to get that first blood. So S4 making him work for it a little, thanks to that lucky little silence timing right there. But in the end, Oppa going to be the one to claim the spoils of first blood. And of course, like I've said many times, always helps when a Queen of Pain starts to get ahead very, very early. Looks like the pull ward was, or no, excuse me, it just ticked because it was a sentry ward, not an observer ward. So there are some pulls happening now for No Tidehunter to get themselves a little bit of extra experience. Decay is putting a lot of hurt on Ake, but he's going to be okay, covered by EGM with a little bit of extra move speed. Loda getting his farm on while the supports are off fighting. 11-0, which could be worse. Not doing as well as Leshrock, obviously, but at least he's getting a little something, basically. Oh, a little bit of a dive coming in here in the middle lane. Opa putting a lot of damage back into S4, who is... Does he have any bottle left? Yeah, alright, he's got his entire bottle. So Opa now kind of low on mana. Alright, he's just brought his bottle back to him, it looks like, from the Crow, and is both going to use it up and pick himself up a DD rune. Maybe, it looks like he wants to snipe Bulldog on the Furion right here. Scandal kind of forcing him backwards. I'm not sure that this should be... Oh, he's trying to bait Bulldog into fighting right here, and boom, 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 Queen of Pain. So much damage from a DD Queen of Pain. First of all, her early damage is already pretty amazing, and then of course, throw on the Scream of Pain, throw on the ultimate if you need it, but in this case, it wasn't even necessary. Looks like we do have an engagement going on top as well. Goblin going to get chased down by Loda. Very hard to get away. Oh, Opa coming in at just the right time. Poured in nice AoE to follow up the Leshrock stun that had already picked off the Wisp, and they basically trade Undying for 3 heroes. This is the kind of start Empire needs. I mean, again, they have this very aggressive sort of lineup that can't take it to the late game, but it damn well worked last game, and maybe it's looking like they might be getting off to a similar start this game. 5-1 at the 5-minute mark. You know, over 1,500 XP, over 2,000 gold already. That's hugely significant. And Loda, again, similar to last game, he's not farming that well right now. Loda farms really, really well when he's uncontested. He's not really the most comfortable person when he is contested. Going to put off a quick Blink Strike onto SS, but it's going to be quickly turned away by Goblack's Decay. Oh no, it looks like NTH actually wants to come around right here. Wisp Spirit's going to be putting out some damage. There goes the Edict coming out from Leshrock. Gets caught in the smoke cloud, but he is now stuck. Lands a nice Split Earth, but only catches Loda. Tries to get EGM as well, but doesn't quite. Lots of damage coming out on everybody. SS has a nice wave going to come out and catch 2 in the end. Loda, however, putting out a whole lot of damage. Looks like he's going to get SS. He might get Goblack as well if he just chases him down.
The Dire best do something about that.
Sorry, trying to both mute my microphone, work my camera, and cover the fight all at the same time. And there goes Goblack as well. And Loda is he level 6 yet? Yup, so he can just sneak away from those zombies right there. Wow. That was exactly, I mean, Empire, they had a nice strong fight. They picked off both the supports, and then Loda just said, alright, you're basically all at the point where I can just clean y'all up, no problem. You don't have the hit points to tank my backstab. Because he's going for level 4 backstab, so he has a lot of constant damage output coming out. Because that's, you know, an additional, let's see here, 125% of his agility on each attack. 58 comes out to 75-ish. Actually, will be exactly 75. Oh, Loda gonna get stunned and very quickly. A lot of burst damage coming out, but all the return damage comes in from No Tidehunter. S4 is here as well. Flat Cannon from Ake, putting in a lot of work, while S4 gets some good chase on, picks off Blowout, as well as Opa right there, and SS going to go down as well. Goblack too. That was some excellent, excellent motion coming out from S4, showed up at just the right time. The Wisp tethered to him, they got a lot of work done together, and this is now exactly what Empire didn't need. How much has this swung in the past, like, minute? 3,000 point experience swing. About 2,500 point gold swing. That's a lot of recovery NTH just managed to make, and if they break even right now, they're doing okay.
Dire structures looking fortified.
Their early game lineup is not as strong, but if S4 makes this first night work for him, they can get a whole lot of work done right here. Opa, it looks like he's going to be the next one coming out. What is this 4 sitting on for items? He's going for... Alright, he's got the Void. He's trying to get the Void off. The Silence is on, but he's not going to quite get in range. Nice fogging coming out from Opa, who comes back in! Nice, nice ultimate, catching the,
travels faster than
oh, is she gonna get that? She's gonna go for the Golden Roshan, but it looks like she's not gonna get him. Unfortunate for Queen of Pain, but man, that was a good little turnaround she pulled right there. And in the meantime, I believe it was Scandal. Yeah, Scandal pulls out, takes down Nature's Prophet in the bottom lane at the same time, and is getting some nice push going. So, what I was trying to say is basically if NTH breaks even, they're okay with that in this laning phase. They can just then play a kind of a defensive mid game using the power of the Night Stalker at night and just basically, the fear of him to prevent Empire from being as aggressive as they want to. Use the Gyrocopter nuke, the threat of the Wisp Night Stalker teleports, the threat of Furion teleports, as well as the Furion split push to keep a lot of pressure off of Loda in the mid game. and just basically farm him up, because no one on Empire can stand up to a Riki in the late game. Riki, who has now Treads and an Orb of Venom, is not doing too terribly for himself, still only at 28-0 for his creep score, but is now 3-1-3 for hero kills, which is going to put him at 4th for net worth, about tied with Blow Your Brain. Oppa looks like he wants EGM, but he's got to be a little worried because he knows the Riki is nearby. They don't really want to engage onto that. How's he doing for his invis duration? He still has about half it left. That's 30 seconds. So he's going to be okay. He's not going to get caught or anything, popping out of his invis at an inopportune time.
Radiant's mid tower could use a hand.
S4 tearing into this mid tower with all of that bonus attack speed. Does he have his phase boots? Oh no, he's gone Treads as opposed to phase boots. Looks like he's going into Treads armlet.
The Dire might want to mine their top tower.
And looks like maybe Oppa might get caught right here. Lotus sees him. They're gonna. All right, so they saw him pick up the regen rune. Oh, he's gonna get away. He sees Ake. Oh, he sees Ake. He thinks it's just Ake. There's the cloud. There's the silence. Body blocks preventing him from getting away as quickly as he wanted to, and all of that backstab damage coming out of Loda, because Queen of Pain not particularly useful when there's a big AoE silence down on the map.
You know the drill. Radiant's gone.
Ported from Scandal to try to prevent S4 from taking this middle tower, maybe try to get a deny on it, but nope, S4 is going to finish it in the end as anyway.
That's forward.
Popping a little bit of extra night. Riki is going to pick off Blow Your Brain in the top lane again. So that Wisp-Riki combo is really working out for them. I mean, this is something NTH does that I really haven't seen anyone else do. Undying dies in the mid lane as well. Looks like Scandal might be next. He maybe is going to get his 4. No, the Rocket Barrage damage. Too much for him to take. And we see the Gyrocopter, despite how everyone wants to play him as a carry nowadays, still a particularly potent hero, even without some farm, just because that Rocket Barrage. Looks like S4 is going to be the next target, but Oppa gets silenced again. The call down going to be there. Try and just make sure that no one goes down. Riki picks off SS in the top lane, yeah. This is just absolutely brutal. It feels like Empire is just not playing particularly comfortably. They're playing super aggressive, but they're playing super aggressive and not as a team. I'm seeing people getting picked off one by one in the middle lane. You saw, Undying goes down, and then Oppa goes in anyway and goes down, and then people just basically are throwing good heroes after bad, if you'll pardon the turn of phrase. Just because somebody started a fight, if they feed like 1v5 and then you proceed to go in one by one, that's not like their fault for starting the fight. Sure, it's their fault that they fed for that 4v5, but that doesn't mean that you should make it, 2 kills or 3 free kills that they got, because now you're not only going in one by one, but even if you went in all the same, you're down a hero now.
Dire's mid tower won't last much longer.
This is really what Empire needs to do. Play kind of really 5-man Dota at this point and get work done. But there's enough AoE and stuff coming out from No Tidehunter. Oh, the Wisp Portent is coming. Bulldog is going to quickly go on to Oppa. Does he have an Orchid already, or was that the silence? No, alright, that was the silence from S4, but he is going to die just before night goes down. SS looks like he's going to be next on the docket. Quick blink in from Loda. S4 also going to help finish off the Undying right there. This is looking very, very bleak already for Empire. If they had some sort of hero that could kind of farm up and come back, I'd feel okay with it. But the Riki has a Yasha and an Orb of Venom at 13 minutes. After he got beat down in lane, he's now the 2nd highest net worth in the game after that Night Stalker. And your Leshrac is not farming enough for you to be comfortable taking this to any sort of mid to late game. And the problem is now I think that NDH is far enough ahead that if Empire tries to play aggressive and tries to go in without getting pickoffs, NTH can just kill them. So they need to find pickoffs and then capitalize on them immensely. You need to get like a couple of pickoffs and a tower, then another pickoff and another tower. You need to do this several times to really make it back in. It's not just going to be one bad position that gets them back into this game. They're not ready to give up the ghost yet, though. They're still going to try and push forward through this top lane. Got plenty of push coming out between all of the AoE they have going. The Tombstone, if there's plenty of enemy units nearby, and of course the Ion Shell, excellent pushing, counter-pushing tool. But the fort is going to be used by No Tidehunter. They already have taken this mid tower, so I don't know if they're just going to let this go. Maybe they're not particularly interested in slowing down their Riki's farm to try and defend it.
Got one last top tower.
They're not afraid of losing tier 1s, they're only afraid of losing tier 2s, and now look, the Ricky and the Wisp are just going to push this tier 2 up here, or in the middle lane.
Radiant's mid-tower's getting banged up.
Bulldog ports away, going to help
Dire's
just push
top
this
tower's
tier 1 bottom.
getting beat down.
It's probably going to be the next thing to go down.
Radiant's
However, the
bottom
tier 2
tower
top is
in
now
the
getting
big
pressured,
fight
and
right now.
not responding to this is kind of dangerous for NTH, I feel. I mean, you're
The
giving
Dire
Empire
won
free
the
towers,
top
which help them get
tower.
back into the game,
Radiant's
help them get the
bottom
gold
tower's
advantage
done
they
for.
need. At the same time, though, if you do manage to get
Dire's top
both
tower's gone.
the bottom tower and the mid tower, which
Radiant's
the mid
mid
tower is
tower's
taking a
getting
lot of
banged.
damage right now. Oh, Loda, you got to be careful, buddy. You have to know they're all on their way in. Each EMU2, what are you doing, buddy? There, the tower
Radiant's
does go
mid-tower
down,
ain't doing
just
so
barely.
good.
So that's actually an even trade on towers for NTH, and as I mentioned earlier, you have to be happy anytime you're breaking even with NTH in this game. I mean, as NTH this game, excuse me. Because of the fact that they're the ones who will win at late game. So if they keep breaking even all game, eventually they hit the point where Empire's lineup can't stand up to theirs anymore. Good chunks of damage getting in on this bottom tier 2 as well. It loses a little more than a third of its life. Bulldog just going to farm up the jungle. And how's Ricky doing on farm now? Still about the same. Sitting on about 1,600 gold. Probably going for his Manta, perhaps. Waiting for Loda to go Sanjasha. Just be like, yeah, man, Sanjasha, competitive item. Really good. Everyone doing their ping. Turn off spectator chat for a reason, and then, you know, whatever. Not going to complain. Not going to let it get my... Oh my god, he is. I think he's going Sanjasha. Or maybe he's just going BKB, because this is a game where he could really use a BKB, because the amount of just pure magical aggression on Empire. Maybe he just went the Yasha, because the move speed and the agility is particularly effective for Ricky, who's an excellent agility-based chaser, who benefits more from raw agility than pretty much any other hero in the game.
Trouble
Obviously.
brewing at Radiant's bottom tower.
Double damage.
Queen of Pain pops a double damage. That could give Empire a little bit of an advantage in this fight, and just one misplay. At this point, a misplay from NTH, if they lose a couple of big heroes and they're down for a while, this mid tower will definitely go down, but a little more might happen as well. Sentry there from Empire. Loda has to be a little careful right there. I feel like they're going to see him if they just walk up the hill. Cooldown's already been burnt to try to slow down the push. There goes Loda. He does not care. He's going right in on Blow Your Brain. He's going to just chase him down. The Soul Orb is going to keep him up for a bit. Damage and AoE coming out on the rest of Empire. There goes Blow Up. Queen of Pain has picked off Wisp in the meantime, but both Leshrac and Undying are down. That's two very, very powerful AoE teamfight heroes that have died for Empire. A Darkseer wall that catches no one, not really going to help them that much. They are going to chase down Bulldog. He's going to die. Keeper of the Light drops to Night Stalker in the meantime. Scandal is now silenced. S4. Oh, the wall finishes just before S4 runs through it, and Loda is going to finish off Loda is going to finish off Scandal as well. And I mean, you have to say that was a nice, solid trade for NTH. 2 for 4, and at the same time, you know, blue big ultimates, and there's the GG from Empire. And, you know, I don't even disagree with it. As quick as it was, they picked such an all-in lineup that I think it fell apart, and they couldn't manage to keep it together. So that's game 2. 1-1 now, and so both times, aggressive, mid-game focused lineups from Empire. First game worked very, very well. Second game, NTH played very well against it. Let's see how game 3 goes, see if they pick a similar lineup, or if they go back to something a little bit more, more standard with a traditional carry. Alright then, this has been Hippie, moving on to game 3.
Radiant